right, guys, let's begin. Thanks for joining, everyone. Great to have Jess here again.
Happy to be here.
We've just got our so this is our current chart. I'll just quickly set this up just because we are expanding already. So we might quickly start on this and then we'll go into the higher time frame. Hey JIS, nice to have you in here as well. Cryptic. Cryptic's not in a position yet. Did everyone get out at New York PM high?
Yeah, so did I, Kaizen. So did I, bro. At PM High, actually. Trying to be disciplined. Here I am.
Which is always a good target for Asia. It's
Yes.
I'm just happy for it to keep going because I'm still in the position.
Yeah. It's all good when we talk to live.
Easy mode. All right. So we've got our for our chart setup, guys. So we have our PDH up here, PDL. We want to do our fixed range volume profile. Get our point of control for this range. Which, you know, we don't have a lot of data from this swing just because, you know, we had all the volume was sort of all in here, dragging it up. And then we've got one swing, which is a really short time period. This is actually pretty frustrating after yesterday when we do go back into that daily review. So just like Jess, I was watching all of this up, come up. I'm getting ready for the short. I'd set my alert here and I was off not watching the screen. Come back after the alert's gone and it's already had that 5-minute drop through. No retest of the zone and just straight down.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like we don't get the 5-minute model here unless we're willing to enter on the 1 minute, like drop down to the 1 minute for the 1 minute entry.
Yeah.
So yeah, this thing just went straight to 3.5. I was like, wow, that's insane. Oh wow, it went straight to 4 actually. Whoa.
Yeah.
No way.
And Cryptic had messaged me this morning to make sure I put 5 on my chart. So we'll add the 5 there.
Okay.
But normally, mostly at the time, I didn't quite. Did it hit it on an NQ1? Might have been the 5.
I did actually pass an eval with that, just slapping it, but you know, not a proud moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that, like right in that swing low. I was watching it, like, you know, hesitate. I'm sure on the 1 minute there's some type of order flow there, and I did just slap it and pass an eval.
I did. I retested the zone too, which also made me a little bit more frustrated. See?
Ah, I did get the 1
Yeah,
minute.
9:31. All right, so fixed range volume profile POC we have here. So our main volume coming in, which we flipped.
Never even retested it, just staying above.
Yeah, and then we have our zone. So we got up here. This was our MYAMQ3 zone. And then we've got this swing here. Put our quarters back on. So this is our AMQ4, which we broke above in the PM to a quarter 2 break and push. So we can do a standard deviation pull now from here. Okay, so it is going to go berserk if we don't just reject here. That candle sort of within this other candle here. We'll grab that whole section for that swing. And we can set our SD 1.5 to watch for the day as well. How was everyone's September? Was everyone profitable for September? Did all of the daily and weekly charts and videos help from me and Jess?
I hope so. I hope so. September was a good month for me. I hope you guys also had a good month. I actually posted 0 videos from backtesting in September. I have like 14 videos to upload.
Well, lots of rendering, upload time to do.
Yeah.
All right, so far we've had, we have our break of the zone. We come back out. We can see a count here as well, right? So break of the high here, 1, 2, 3, break of 2, it's 4, 5, into our 1800 to 1900 window for low of the day until it's not. And very clean zone back into this zone and sweep of 2 there.
Love when the sweep is just a wick too, no body.
Very nice. I was about a 6.2, not quite. Maybe it's a 0.5 there if we do our OTE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight from PM low to PM high. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Main Asia targets, guys, those PM levels. Always put them on with the daily chart when you're setting up. This was nice in here. So that's like the tweezer low that we talk about. So into that SD5, so SD5 hit on NQ1, but 4.5 is the main level that I watch. So when you get a tweezer into that level 2, with the bullish engulfing, then we can watch that to hold. And a nice entry point there. Expecting candles to stay above 50% of the down close candle.
I don't know if you guys recall me telling you how to like front run that OB before it's actually confirmed, but you see the retest of that 50% before we even close above the high, pretty clean.
Jess sauce, yeah. So now we can watch this zone for Asia in here. And then ideally, guys, remember when we get the flip, if we do break above, we can look for that for a retest into continuation and watch the midpoint of that zone. So bullish on today, looking for a Friday high of the week. We had our Wednesday low of the week. Pretty bullish structure straight out of the gate and a nice pivot low here. All right.
Yeah, Thursday also offering a classic Thursday continuation as well. So see no problems with a classic Friday high.
Yeah. All right, we'll jump into our high time frame stuff and then we can pop back on this chart later. Just turn off the quarters. 6 monthly. Zoomed in there straight up. That's pretty much what it's been like, isn't it? Just this one white long candle.
Guys, man, you guys need to screenshot this year as much as possible. Such a clean, like, classic buy year.
So nice. So manipulation swing here. We come back. SFP here on the 6 monthly. We can then use that one candle as we've spoken lots of times about our SFPs now, and there's still some really great ones. They keep appearing at the moment. Definitely worth drawing on as an order block. So we swept the lows into the IBC that we had here that we've marked out lots of times, and 618 retracement from here to the high when that came down, and we're just pushing up very nicely. 3 monthly. We can look at the order block here that made the high. So just like we're doing at the moment, once we get the breakout, we also have this one here that we had. So we get the breakout and then you get the flip of those candles here that created the manipulation swing. And you see we come right back in there as well, back into this order block that caused the breakout. So this is what we want to do if we get that breakout at all-time highs now. We take out the New York AM high, and then we can look for that retest to come back in and then continue up.
Clean order flow. Clean order flow.
Very nice. So we can also take this down close candle here that was responsible for the move up here. Lots of areas to watch if we ever do start getting a retracement and not just bullish expansion. Look forward to doing some reviews then, Jess, when we can get some more data, not just up candles.
Yeah, this might be one of those classic bullish continuations where we expand first and then like do a slow grind back to make a low of the quarter and then continue an expansion for the rest of Q4.
Yeah. Then we can start marking out BISIs. So down on the monthly. So we got one forming now, pending where our low of the month comes in. To mark out later. Have this very nice swing here. And the BISI here, that's also within this range, and BPR in here that we love as well if we ever get a brutal sell-off to watch. Down to the weekly. So we have our clean weekly swing here, which we're also using this manipulation swing on the daily. Zoom in a bit more. And we can watch. So if this weekly closes above here, which is highly likely, then we can watch this down close weekly as well for price to come back and continue up from for the next week. Have a BISI lower in here. Not too much information on the weekly. And the bullish order block or swing here as well. All right, we'll go into change charts here, and we'll go into our 6 hour aligned with the monthly to have a look. So we had that clean monthly swing low here for September, creating the low of the month. And then our SD levels from that. So on the 4 hour and the 6 hour, it's the same swing. SD 1.5, we're going to that re-accumulation from SD 1.5. And we can map that out with an SBS as well. So once we break that all-time high, we get the break here, 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for that sweep of 2, which we have here for no real fifth swing on this time frame. And then we target that high. You can also see we have that swing failure pattern here. Comes down, sweeps 2 and the levels, and then closes back within that range. Closes back within that previous candle, and then we target the high as well, which also lines up with that SBS. We're also watching this manipulation swing that we had was the news candle as well at the start of the month. And we can have that on as an order block. You can also then draw that swing failure pattern on as an order block or rectangle box.
That is so clean. Oh my goodness.
Price comes back, respects
we should be
50%.
making more money.
Yeah. And so with our standard deviations, when we're looking at continuation, especially on the higher time frame, you're normally getting that between 1 to 1.5. So very good example here. So we have that break, which became, this was the high of the month at SD 2.5, which is very nice.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that we reached that and then we went for the manipulation deviation, which is really cool, to close out the month, open, high, low, close.
Yeah.
And then the new month is here.
Low, close.
Sorry, open, low, high, close. My bad.
Yeah. So if we go back and then we put on our monthly candle, if we go PO3, what's it going to do? There we go. Beautiful monthly candle. So got our open low. That formation with the change state delivery is what causes our wick. And then the formation up here that creates that change in state delivery creates the wick for the high of the month. Comes back into that SD1 to 1.5. And we were watching...
Once we're above... Sorry, go ahead.
We were watching the TGIF levels on that monthly as well. I think we spoke about last week.
I must have missed that when I left early.
Yep. Back to that
oh, yes.
0.3.
Oh my goodness, that's clean.
Tags.
Wow, October's gonna rip.
Yeah, nothing bearish at all about this candle.
Imagine though, just once we're above that monthly open for the month of September, and what if everyone just applied bullish daily bias? Like you're not losing a lot in this price action at all. Every day you're tagging previous day high. Such an easy way to trade if you can't adapt and you want to be one-sided. Easy way to apply bias and daily bias.
And same way we're looking at this on the monthly. We can just do the same with the daily. We're just waiting for those clean swing lows. Wait for the retest, whether it's a quarter 3 into a quarter 3. Get you long. Keep targeting each swing high or session high. Happy days.
Christmas is going to be a good time for everyone with months like these.
Definitely. So the candle that made the low here too. So I was watching this as well. So another swing failure pattern. And this one's good to mark out. So on the 6 hour here, because even though we're diving back into it, it's still respecting 50% of the wick, the CE mark of the wick. Which which we can watch in this situation, whether it's going to be invalidated or not. So if we just grab the wick, we can see no body closes below 50%. And then if we drag that whole candle across, the next manipulation swing, which come in at the start of the month, comes back into that swing failure pattern. Also unable to close below 50%.
I absolutely have to block those out now. Wow. That is clean.
And we just keep getting them, especially at the moment. So now breaking above. So we have this 6 hour candle here that we can watch. That's sort of our current manipulation, which is broken out. So once we get above that, we can also have this as a zone. And watch that to be held until it's not. But at the moment, we're just trading within that. And so far, it's like an instant open low. So interesting to see where our price is at once we've done a quarter of the month, sort of 7th to 8th of October, and we can put a deviation on this for now and drag a box on here for this whole swing that started before the month, sort of like an hourly macro that we watch. You can sometimes start just before.
Or like the 5-minute Q3 prior to the 4-hour.
Yeah. Formation of the 4-hour just before. Definitely an area to watch later for retracements. And then we got so SD 3.5 and SD 4 lining up with this one from that main swing in September. So we love it when they all start to overlap, SD2 and 3.5.
Any questions, guys? Everyone's
so quiet
in the trade
today.
right now. They're like, they're waiting for TP right now.
I want to see it hit 25k. You spelt 26k wrong, man. So we had this SBS here. So this main swing here on the 6-hour broke the high. That's our 1, 2. This is what we were watching as well, coming up to that, to this point over here. So 1, 2, 3, and then the break of 2 there, 4, and then 5 back into that swing failure pattern.
Oh my goodness.
And then we've come up and taken 6 now into October. All right. Go to our 5-minute. And we'll jump into our daily review. Just a quick check of where we're at. So our rejecting now currently.
Q4. Ooh.
Put this BC on to watch as well. So this is interesting, right? Because this move was so strong, on the 5-minute, this is unmitigated.
Yeah.
So we could get a strong reaction off that.
Yeah, and the deviations were met as well, full extension.
Yeah.
Straight off of the, yeah.
No retracements to save any orders that caused that manipulation. So definitely some caution up here. And ideally for that bullish continuation, nice if this does hold and we do just flip that with strength. But
Yeah.
we can watch, so we can watch this order block here for maybe a London low and then push up to flip.
The CISD is right in that area too for that order block that you just mapped out. So it would be a while before confirmation for the current swing. Like if it CISDs again, it would be ways away below PM high. So the same time it'll be retesting for the long, you won't have that confirmation for the CISD lower for a while.
Yeah. Gonna take a while to play out.
Yeah.
We can pop on our OTE to watch for later as well. And we can adjust that if we do keep making highs here. All right, we'll jump into our daily review. Just put our replay tool back on so we can go back into the month. Have you noticed this? It's coming up. Continue your last replay. Must be doing some work on their replay mode.
Great.
Trading view.
Are you leaving?
I need to look up the notes to see if see what they've released. Hopefully they've made the back testing side of it better because it's terrible. With some more recording ability for, you know, because so many indicators they don't have an FXReplay that you can't test, and then you have to run charts side by side. Whereas being able to do it all in TradingView would be nice.
Yeah, I think that's actually why they've upgraded the plans that they've offered. So there's like above premium, there's an expert and a pro now. And I'm pretty sure that this is all to provide extra data for more money, of course.
Yeah, their main underlining value. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put our quarters back on.
Because it never made sense to me that FXReplay is using TradingView API, but TradingView doesn't even offer as much data as FXReplay does, which is just bananas. Yeah. So I guess they figured out a way to make more money.
They're catching on. All right, so we had so back from Asia for starting the day here. We have PDH here and PDL just like nothing, you know. So when we first start the chart up, we do our PDL, PDH, and just expand it away. No retracements. I was looking for this to get long, Jess. That's what I wanted. Back into here or back into this zone, which was left unmitigated. Breakaway gap straight out. Yeah, so no.
Just floated higher. Just floated higher, ever so graciously.
Yeah, this is a you know, a very happy, cozy open here.
Open.
So we have our window here for the plausible low of the day until it's not 18 to 1900. We get our breakout here. So same thing like we were talking about on the monthly, where you get that swing before the open and then the breakout. So we can look for that to be that manipulation and draw that on. And then we look for retests of that swing. And then we get the other one here. So this was our Q2 manipulation for Asia. Swing here. BPR trap for sellers here. And then breakout and retest. Then go into expansion. So we come back up. And then what are we doing? This is what we're sort of looking at the moment if we do break out above the high, right? We have this swing here. We break out and then we flip that. Straight up to SD 1.5. And then at SD 1.5, we go into reaccumulation. So we have, there's a swing here that we can count, but it didn't come back and sweep to here. So then we go again from that next sweep. 1, 2, 3. We get the sweep of 2 there. 4, 5. You can draw that on. So this low swing that caused that breakout, we come back to mitigate that for 4. And then you just have to wait for forever to get to 6.
It teased it so many times.
this Asia Q4 swing they made for. We can draw that on as a zone as well. And when you're just in the bullish continuation like this, you can just keep stepping them up. Looking for 50% of them to hold and price to continue. Whereas, if that comes down, rejects 50%, breaks, comes out of the zone, then we can look for shorts over here. This is another good example. I'm not sure if you were in the stream last week, Jess, but we're talking about the bullish continuation and instead of where you don't get Asia low sweeps. So it'll come back up and a lot of the time it'll just flip Asia high or it will come back into 50% of that Asia zone, Asia range. And this is a good example of just flipping Asia high here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is I'm sure I've mentioned it to you guys before, but where I learned this concept comes from implementing the Asia range from ICT. That's one of my favorite videos by him, and it's exactly this concept of once we flip Asia high, we're either going to retest the high or we're going to retest the EQ, and then just keep going. And likewise, we've mentioned this in our back testing for your model. Is that if we don't retrace to previous day's EQ or at least 25%, once we take previous day high or low, we just follow that order flow until previous day high or low breaks.
Yeah. Very nice. So into that London Q3, touch of TDO, Asia high, and expansions trade off that Asia high. Trap for anyone that was shorting here. Price then comes.
JAS has a good question for you, Adrian.
In the SBS formation, do you know when 2 is valid after we get 4? That sweeps 2. Just trying to see how to figure it out live. It's a good example of this. Because sometimes, a lot of the time you don't know where 3 is. 2 is normally pretty obvious, but you don't know where 3 is. Because 3 could be still forming, like here.
I have a follow-up answer once you're done with your explanation as well.
So we have our breakout here. We can draw on the swing that caused the breakout. We do our count. 1, 2. You draw on our 2. And then when price is back here, we don't know where 3 is going to land, but all we're concentrating on is that 2. Unless price just keeps taking away, it doesn't come back to the 2, that's okay as well. So then we get another high. So that's our current 3. And we can draw on our OTE from the low swing to 3. And then we just keep watching. Get another high. That becomes 3. Change our OTE. Now we have our sweep of 2. We're back into that zone. And we've just got our tweezer low. Looking for that bullish engulfing. And we're away. 7-9 just special. And straight up at that 6 o'clock open. So ideally we want to get in here after this close. Stop below here.
Yeah, so I just want to add to that is that as long as you're not taking 1, as long as 1 your stop loss at 1 or at the low of 1, as long as your stop loss is holding, then you assume that 2 and 4 are valid. But we did find in our 5-minute backtesting that 5 does sweep 4 about 80% of the time. And that 5 generally happens at an OTE level inside of a macro, and generally being about 70% of the time. So if you're getting adapted to SBS, I would highly recommend just waiting for 5, because 5 actually has a 100% win rate, but 70% of the time that's occurring during a macro as well as sweeping an OTE level at 4. So again, as long as that low is holding, that's causing that initial break of 1, then you assume that 2 and 4 are valid, and I would just practice taking 5 until you get comfortable taking 4, if you want to take 4. If that helps, JIS. Hope we answered your question.
You're good. Jump out of that. All right, so then we have that nice V manipulation coming out of London quarter 4 and BPR here. Then get 5-minute BPR flip into continuation. This is pretty hard to trade though, right? Like when you're up at all-time high, we come in at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You sweep the high. Like it's not a long I want to take from there. I just want to wait.
Yeah, you gotta have crazy conviction to keep trading that.
Yeah, and there's like we're already up at SD3. Did that hit SD4 with that when that swept the high there? Very close. So we're already at the top of that SD range from that Asia quarter 2 manipulation. You know, that's when we just want to sit on our hands and wait for that short setup. We have a I did put a BF, a Freedom broadening formation on here, which works well in those days where we just keep grinding, and when it's grinding along the top of it there, looking for that break. I was getting everything set up for the short, Jess, and then didn't get the short.
Yeah.
Am I just adding confidence on my chart?
Look at that thing. It's crazy.
All right, so we had that reaccumulation into here. We keep going up. So when you see this formation, you don't want to be shorting in here. This is just a clean low swing. We want a manipulation swing out of this, and that's when you just have to sit on your hands until New York quarter 3 or 8:30 even.
Yeah. Also, I'm just very cautious when we hit the half deviations, and then before like a shift really occurs, or like a nice, obvious swing and shift. Yeah. So unless
Less
it's
common
2.5
for a
or
high.
yeah, exactly, or 4.5, I would just assume it's a reaccumulation to go higher as opposed to trying to take the reversal.
Yeah, and a good way to think about it, because like, how many of my daily reviews do we see reversal happen at 3.5? Like it just doesn't happen.
Yes, it does not.
It's a
and then
trap.
Even if it hits 4.5, you still want time to also align with price as well. So then you apply what he just mentioned. You wait for 8:30, 9:30, or 10 even, the new 4-hour candle for you to really get in that trade.
And ideally we get that break and we come into that new H4, test the PD array in the zone, and then you can short your shorts, not straight down. Sad face.
JD did get that short at the bottom too. He waited for the for this grind up. He got short about about that area, and he did take that short there, which is incredible.
This here, like at 9:45 or after, he would have been drilling down to the 1 minute. TDO.
He kind of built into it. Yeah.
There, back to the low. Because, guys, like this is not a reversal. You know, you want...
Yeah.
You want that shape. So if you see we've had a big sell-off like this, and then we just get that first bounce back to TDO or to Asia high, which is Asia low, sorry, was it? Or Asia high, and that's... Can't remember because we're up so high. Asia high, rejection. VWAP rejection. Continuation down. But yeah, that first push back up to TDO, good spot to short, and then keep hitting the lows.
Hey, Mike. Sure you remember me from way back.
How you going, Mike? So you projected this for the month. Want to make sure I have it clear. Be on the 1 hour. So if you jump to the, it'll be that you need to lift that up to the high of that swing, I think. So if we put that onto the 4 hour, if I go back to this chart, 4 hour or 6 hour, I've been enjoying the 6 hour, just removes some information and keeps it nice and clean. And then I'm currently using this whole swing here.
920 area on your chart. You want to bring it to that entire swing high.
Have you grabbed it from the actual open? Whereas we can use it from before the open as the manipulation swing. Just like we do with macros, like Jess was discussing earlier.
No problem.
All right, back to, so then we come up into that 9:30. Push down, and that's where you needed to drill down to the lower time frame to be able to get an entry here. And you'd want to get in straight off that zone, stop loss above.
So how long did you watch this before you decided you weren't going to give it a try?
I came on too late. It was 10 minutes. So I'd already, when I come back to look at the chart, this candle and this candle had already played out.
Okay, yeah. I would have
so it was gone. There's nothing for me to do. Like straight down, TP1, TP2, TP3.
Yeah. I've been following the 1.5 SD rule pretty religiously, I think. Pretty hard and fast rule for me. Like if it expands there, I'm just not going to touch it.
Yeah.
And I think that saved me a lot of headaches for sure.
And also then you just get time back to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're like, great, I can turn off the chart, then I'll wait for next session or wait for some more price action.
Set an alert, walk away, yeah.
So for people that did take that or get it off the 1 minute, then you look for that retest. So you're used to putting a long tool on at the moment. So that's your trade to each one. So if you manage to just wake up and get this trade, then you can just turn off the charts and call it a day pretty much.
Man, that sweep of 1.5 is wicked.
Straight through. Oh, the top, yeah.
Yeah, that is just, oof. That's exactly, man. That's beautiful.
So then, like, that's your your high risk entry was here. So we get that swing
Yeah.
failure pattern there. Enter on that
Mm.
retest. So for times when you're trying to get in before the zone, we look for the swing failure pattern or a IBC within the zone that's forming. So we don't know that the zone's complete at the time. So I normally like to do this just on one account with lower risk than what I would do with the normal 5-minute model. So you can get in off that swing failure pattern, which is like super tight risk.
Yeah.
Down to 4.5, the 20 to 1 guys. Or you wait for that IBC, which still had to be pretty quick.
Yeah. Again, just had to have that execution that it was going to go short after going up all night long.
Yeah. And like price has to rebalance at some stage when we just keep taking the highs. And coming into a key high of the day time, 9:30 to 10:30 for an instat high of the day. Such a good point. Watching NQ is like watching paint dry. No, man, it's like watching an artist do the painting. And it's awesome.
It's like watching Bob Ross live, bro.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
BNB.
guys. I have to be going now, but so happy to be here. These are always really, really fun.
No worries. Thanks for joining us. It was good.
Have a good night, guys. Peace.
Thanks, Jess. So BNB, did you want me to talk about so I use the SMA, so the 200 and the 20 SMA. So the 200 SMA is this thicker one. So I'm using that for like the main trend, right? So we're watching that. Especially when you get those clean manipulation lows and we come back and flip that 200 SMA, then we can use that for our long buy. So like, we're above it this whole time. We're sort of happy to keep looking for longs. And then we can use the same thing. So we have the 20 SMA. So we can watch that into manipulations. Q3 manipulations for the flips for continuation. London Q4 manipulation, we're still above. We're not breaking, right? We want to stay bullish. Q3 PM manipulation, we come back above 20 SMA. Into an Asia, Q2 manipulation, we flip, we come back above the 200 SMA. Into this Q4 move, BPR in here, come back above the 20 SMA, still way above the 200 SMA. We also look for that sort of to be a magnet when we are, if we are shorting later on for price to come back to, which we can see just smashed back down here. And then also looking at it for the breaks. This is why, this would have been really nice if it actually gave us a clean fractal here into a 10 o'clock macro. So we could have that flip of the 20 SMA and then push down to the 200 SMA aligned with all our SD levels and our zone up here. Can Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 be applied to the monthly to gauge how we can expect an overall SD to play? Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So not using the 90-minute cycles like that on the monthly. I'm just using, 7 to 8 days we pick on the monthly. We set them up to quarters on the higher time frame, Mike, and then we're looking just like we do with our weekly profiles, right? We're trying to find same as H4 as well. We're trying to find the low of the week or the high of the week, normally on a Monday or Tuesday. That's happening in the first quarter of the week. With a 4-hour candle, we're doing the same if we break that into quarters. I prefer the 90-minute cycle. But a lot of the time you will get that manipulation in that first quarter. So monthly we can do the same. We can look for manipulation within that first quarter. So we can see, if we go back to this chart, this is our 6-hour chart. We have our September open here, and we have manipulation in that first quarter. So back here, we then want to trust that manipulation. We can draw that on as a zone for the month and look for 50% of that zone to hold, just like we're doing on our 5-minute models as well. Then we put our standard deviations on this swing. And same thing, right? If this swing started just before the month, we would still, like we're doing now, we would still use the high that caused that low from the end of the previous month, which is what we're doing here. So we have the high that made the low. We're projecting now to SD 1.5. So interested to see how this goes, and we'll go over this review next week as well and have a look. It's also common to see, like sometimes you can hit the high in the middle. So interested to watch around that in here, sort of like the 14th, 15th of the month. See if we hit one of these levels and then we get a pivot to come back. Or we just keep going. Would there ever be a situation where we're above 200 and below 20? Yeah, man. That's pretty much what happened yesterday as well in that session. If we go back to the 5-minute. But, you know, that's where we can have some confluence there to look for those shorts, right? So we break that 20 and then drive down to the 200. So when you start to see them separate, like see we've got this big separation all the way, BNB. So then when you start to get the sweeps of them, or a clean manipulation that then switches below, then you can use that as confluence as well for short positions. So a good example here. They're both pretty close here, but we break below the 20 SMA, back into our zone. This was an in-stat high of the day to start the day. This was the main short that I got on Tuesday, right? Because we were looking for a Wednesday low of the week. We wanted a Wednesday low pivot, which I had marked out in my channel and posted a few times. But a good example of that. So we break, we can use that 20 SMA, you know, as well as the SIBI that we had here, BPR in here. We come back, touch that, and then another IBC here from this manipulation swing, and we can get short here using that 20 SMA. 200 SMA was below, and then we flip them both, and it just grinds down with the 20 SMA all the way. Quarterly projection to 26,000-ish. Yeah, should be interesting. Like that's right at that SD 4.5 from that September standard deviation projection. Yeah, pretty much, man. Same for the quarterly. You know, and if we do get, you know, like maybe another wild swing down like this, then we can do another projection from here, and we can line that up with the previous projections as well, just like we're doing with the quarter 3 overlaps on a 5-minute chart. Does that help BNB as well for the SMA questions? So even on higher time frame, right? 200 here. We come back down for that low of the month in September. We get the tweezer, we get the bullish engulfing, retest the 200, expansion higher. So using on multiple time frames works so well. 20 SMA all the way up. We get manipulation below that, and then we're pushing up. And we are getting like we're starting to get a big gap between. So it's going to be interesting to watch the next quarter for sure. Very good. All right, I'll quickly jump onto our current PA again. Any more questions, guys? Got our BISI's holding here. Currently now, so we've had the breakout above here, so we can start doing another SBS. All right, so we've got our 1, 2. Can wait for same thing. We just keep projecting 3 as we're waiting for that. So this is sort of playing out quite nicely, like we measured out at the start of the stream, and with our OTE from here. So if we get a break above 1 here, then plausible we come back, retest that New York PM high. We keep adjusting our fib levels to the next high. Retest this and then continue up, ideally putting in a high of the week later into London or New York AIM. But yeah, instat low of the day. The next statistical level for high of the day or low of the day is 3 to 4 o'clock. If we pop them on. By using these levels too, it also makes it a bit easier to hold on to positions when you can get in on those like a cozy open. So worth marking out on your chart for your main pivot areas, guys. And then, so New York, we have 9:30 to 10:30. And then PM is 1500 to 1600. And so now we've got our current 2. We can mark that out to watch for plausible sweeps during the day. Manual fib adjustments, Cryptic's auto fib. Cryptic's been making some great indicators, guys. If you have a look in the indicators section in Kingline, definitely worth checking out. The 0.5 fib swing low, where is that measured from again? So this one here, measuring from the bottom of this swing. What do you mean this one? So the first one's measured from here to 3. So the origin of the move up to 3. Origin of the move up to 3, wherever it lands. Cool. So yeah, we keep moving this one as we go higher. Yeah. And like if this just goes up like this, we remove the SBS and then we start another one from this main breakout. So in the main breakout, let's say we do this, that becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, BNB, the other thing I have on as well, so with 200 SMA, 20 SMA, you know, currently holding price nicely. VWAP was the other one we watched. So, you know, VWAPs, a lot of the time, if we have that aligned as well with both 200 SMA and the 20 SMA, creates good confluence for the pullback into continuation. All right, last thing I wanted to touch on today, guys, was the monthly questions. Let me just quickly grab them out of Discord and I'll post them into the chat. Yeah, no worries, BNB. It's the whole thing. Like one of the members messaged in the chat this morning asking, like saying that they'd just done a heap of ICT study, gone through all of the 2022 stuff, and wanting to know sort of where to start from there. And you know, when you do the ICT mentorship and you go through, one of the first things he says is, okay guys, now let's get rid of all our indicators. You don't need them, they're lagging, and so on, which is, you know, great while you're studying his work and smart money concepts. But you then want to get the best from each world and each thing that you've studied. So you want to keep getting additional tools, putting them into your toolbox, and not just get rid of everything because that's what one person has said. You want to grab the information from that person that's working for you, grab, you know, other information you found that works really well, and put it all together as one toolbox, which is what I try to teach as well. Using, you know, I'm using ICT, I'm using manipulation swings, I'm using Wyckoff. I'm now using SBS aligned with reaccumulation or redistribution zones, and all of the tools that I've grabbed and that I'm teaching are the best way I've found to read and trade price, and ideally be able to teach you guys to read and trade price without all of the mess and uncertainty. Yeah, and now my latest addition is level logic. So level logic indicators now give me statistical backed data for levels that I'm watching for them to get hit. And we have like daily medians, weekly medians, have like open retest levels, which then help when you see a manipulation swing and you have an open retest level to get hit. Just adds more confluence to the toolbox as well. Pop any other questions in the chat. I'm just going to quickly go and grab my monthly questions and then I'll pop them in. All right. Hey, Rope. Sorry, I've just been tracking down the performance review questions for the month. Here we go. So I'll just pop that in the chat. And I'll just pop that onto the screen as well. It's going to let me... No, it's just trying to track this down. I just had to do a search. Yeah, I didn't prepare it in the background ready to paste in, so I had to quickly do a search through my chats with Jess to find it. All right, guys. So this is what we recommend that everyone does at the end of the month, even the end of the week as well. We recommend you have your own Discord library set up, basically your own private one where you put information in, you put your top trades in, losing trades. You can journal your stuff into there as well. We've been over that a few times in these streams, and there's some saved streams in my YouTube as well that I've done that with Jess. So for the finishing off September, question 1 is what worked well this month and what didn't work well. You can note them down. Did you enter too early? Did you chase price? Did you move your stop loss? All the usual stuff. And you definitely want to do this and note them down so that you build some muscle memory and fix any early problems that you're finding with your trading. You want to keep making each month better and better as we go. Which session did you perform best in? Which session did you underperform in? What time of day was your most successful trades? BNB, do you want to admit when I started doing this every month, my trading has improved a ton? Yeah, which is exactly what it's designed to do, right? We're trying to build stacking stones and we want to get rid of the little pieces that are in the way, push them out. So sessions, so for me, like the sessions that I perform best in are London and New York AM. Sessions that I'll have trouble in or underperform for me are Asia. So like a lot of the time, if I get a nice move like this in Asia, if I get a long, Asia likes to consolidate and we'll just reverse here and go back to break even a lot of the time. That's why if you see me, you get a cozy open or a long from these positions, I only have one contract most of the time, one or two contracts. I'm not risking a lot because that is not a session that I always win in. Perform best in London. Did you journal your losing trades? So very important. What I do in my Discord library is I will screenshot them and put them into a channel that's just called losing trades. So then the start of each day and each session, I make sure I scroll through them and I have muscle memory of the losing trades and do the same for the winning trades. Building that muscle memory of what is a winning trade, what does it look for, where's the, where would the invalidation be, and just getting your mind ready and fresh for each session, especially as we're coming into quarter 3 and you're looking for a move, or you're looking for a clean move like this. The person that hasn't prepared would maybe be shorting this or shorting a SIBI in here, and then your entry just gets flipped. So definitely recommend journaling these. It doesn't have to be a huge one-page write-up for each journal entry. It can just be a screenshot with your trade idea on there and your confluence levels. And then, checklist here. So did you enter trades too soon, too late? Did you take profit too soon? So that's a good one. And that's why I like using the standard deviation levels. If I took profit SD 1.5 here is too soon. That's also why I like using separate accounts. So one account can take profit at SD 1.5. Not interested at 1. I know it's a lot more probable to continue to 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. Did you risk too much? Did you guys blow accounts in September? You're the main culprit. Or did you risk too little? Ideally, if it's a very clean trade that you have a lot of confidence built up in, you want to make sure you are risking the correct amount and not too little and maximizing your gains. Sat on hands too much? That's okay. Sitting on hands and just reading the tape is always good. Next, what actions have you taken to fix these issues? We need to get rid of the issues. Every month, we need to keep building, removing the bad habits, the mistakes, and just building on the good ones. Cut your losses fast, yeah. Yeah, how can you do less of what didn't work and more of what did work? And try and measure yourself on the whole month, not just daily or weekly. We are building accounts to survive for the month and to grow over the month. We're going to have bad days, we're going to have good days, but we want to focus on the higher time frame. If you could rewind the month, what advice would you give yourself knowing what you know now? Did anyone want to put anything for that in the chat? I was pretty happy with my September. I stayed up for most of the New York AM sessions and got additional trades in September that I wouldn't normally get if I didn't stay up, which worked well. Size down. Yeah, sizing down is something I also had for September as well. Risk less, which then allows more confidence to stay in trades for longer. Hold on to runners, yeah, and using those SD levels, BNB, for your runners, then you have clear targets for later. If you want them for the whole day, you got the clear SD4s. And that's the other thing of going smaller and using multiple accounts, guys. Like if we have 4 accounts with 1 or 2 MNQ on, take your first one off when you're feeling a bit nervous or it's hit SD 1.5. Great, you've been paid. Stop losses go to break even on your other accounts. Just let them go. And what's one thing you're proud of this month? So for me, I'm proud of my tape reading and sharing. I feel like I've nailed each week and the moves, and I was able to get into good positions during a lot of the expansion moves for the month. And I'm proud that I've been able to share a lot of that with everyone and hopefully help you guys make some profit as well. Passing evals and not touching your funded, yeah, which is great. So and that's something I recommend everyone does, especially if you don't have a lot of funded accounts, or even if you don't have any now and you're into October, your goals should be build up some accounts. Try and get at least 3 without trading any of them, and try to aim for 5 if you can. Put your attention on passing the evals and building the accounts. Once you've got 3, start trading them individually, only with 1 to 2 micros. We want to make it impossible to lose these accounts. We want to grow them and stack the accounts. Use them as an inventory. So one of the weekly goals that you should have with part of your performance, how many funded accounts did I build and how many did I keep? All right, so I did pop this review into the chat, guys. So make sure you also save that into your Discord library. And yeah, run through this every week. You can do the same, every month, and you can do the same for the weekly. And just focus on getting better each week. Focus on the whole month and not just single days and single trades. All good, rope. Keep building. All right, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. And let's all smash October together. We keep working on one puzzle piece at a time, using our confluence, not risking too much, and building accounts.